Hello everybody, welcome to the show. Please hit the subscribe button and give this episode a thumbs. Hello everyone. Tonight we begin a story that millions think they already know. Loud family. Funny little girl with big personality. Mother who became one of the most talked about women in reality television. But the truth is different. The truth started long before the lights. Long before the cameras. Long before the world learned the name Mama June. Before fame and chaos there was a girl named June Shannon. Girl from a small town in Georgia. Girl who grew up in a world where money was tight and comfort was rare. Nothing came easy for her. Surviving every day was already a challenge. June learned very early that the world was not gentle. She learned that people can leave. She learned that life does not slow down for anyone. And she learned that if you want to be heard you have to speak louder than everybody around you. She grew up in a home that felt small but loud. There was love but also stress. Bills piled up. Jobs came and went. The family did what they could with whatever little they had. June grew up fast. Faster than any child should. She became strong because she had no choice. She became independent because nobody else could carry her problems for her. This strength would later become the same strength people saw on television. The strength that made her a household name. The strength that also hid her pain. June moved through her teenage years. Life kept getting harder. School was not easy. Relationships were messy. Trust was even harder to hold on to. But June had one thing inside her that never went away. She wanted a life that felt bigger than the one she was born into. She wanted to rise above the struggles she lived with every day. She wanted her children to have more than she ever had. June became a mother at an early age. Much earlier than she ever expected. Suddenly she was not just fighting for herself. She was fighting for her children too. And that fight shaped her future. Her daughters became the center of her world. They became her purpose even when the world around her was falling apart. She wanted them to feel loved. She wanted them to feel special. Most of all, she wanted them to feel seen. But the world did not make motherhood easy. Money was always short. Hours at work felt long. There were days when the only thing holding everything together was June's stubborn willpower. People judged her. People gossiped. People assumed she was doing everything wrong. But they did not see the nights she stayed awake worrying. They did not see the sacrifices she made. They did not see the love she carried even when she did not have anything else left. When June's daughters started growing up, the world slowly began to notice something unusual about the youngest. Little girl named Alana. She had a big laugh. Loud voice. Wild spark. It did not matter how small the room was because Alana could fill it with her personality alone. People remembered her. People replayed her words. People smiled when she talked. And June saw it. She saw that spark long before anyone else did. This is where the story begins to shift. Not yet toward fame. Not yet toward TLC. But toward opportunity. The kind of opportunity that does not come often in a place where most families are struggling. Local pageant. Cheap dress. Big personality. That is all it took to light the first match. Alana entered her first small-town pageant with the confidence of a queen. She danced. She talked. She made faces. She made the judges laugh. She did not win the biggest crown. But she won the most valuable thing of all. Attention. Viewers who watched the early pageant show remembered her. Producers remembered her. They replayed her moments. They asked who the loud little girl was. And soon the name Honey Boo Boo was born. But behind Honey Boo Boo stood June. The mother who carried her. The mother who encouraged her. The mother who understood that this wild spark could change their lives if they pushed a little harder. June was not chasing fame. She was chasing a better life for her daughters. She wanted a home that felt safe. A fridge that was full. A future that felt bigger. And she believed that if the world saw what she saw in Alana, something might finally change. Before the cameras ever arrived, June's life was already complicated. Her relationships were scattered. Some partners hurt her. Some betrayed her. Some left her with more problems than solutions. But she kept moving. She kept trying. She kept fighting because that is all she knew how to do. Even when her heart broke, she kept a hard shell so nobody could see the damage. People later judged her decisions. People later mocked her appearance. People later blamed her for every mistake. But no one truly knew the life she came from. No one truly understood the mental wounds she carried for years. No one knew how lonely it was to raise children in poverty while the world depicted perfection. When the idea of a reality show began forming, it did not feel real to June. The producers kept asking questions. They kept calling back. They wanted to film. They wanted to follow the family. They wanted to capture the unfiltered chaos of their life. And June thought about it long and hard. She wondered if it was worth letting strangers into their world. She wondered if people would laugh. She wondered if this would help or hurt her children. But she also knew something else. This was a chance she might never see again. And chances do not come often for families like hers. She said yes even though she did not know what was coming. She said yes even though she knew the world can be cruel. She said yes because she wanted her daughters to have a future that did not look like her past. Before the bright lights of TLC, before red carpets, before viral clips, before scandals, before heartbreak, there was simply a mother trying to hold her world together. A mother trying to create opportunities out of nothing, mother who wanted her daughters to feel proud of who they were. Mother who never had the luxury of stopping to think about herself. This is the part of Mama June's story that many fans never knew. The part that explains why she became the person the world later judged so loudly. The part that shows her not as a reality star but as a human being. A woman built by struggle. Hardened by loss. When people talk about Honey Boo Boo, they usually jump straight to the catchphrases, the jokes, the wild interviews, and the over-the-top moments that went viral. But the real beginning of Honey Boo Boo did not start on a big stage. It started in a tiny room filled with hairspray, cheap dresses, and nervous children waiting to be called on stage for local beauty pageants. Alana Thompson was only a little girl when she joined her early pageant competitions. She was not the prettiest girl in the lineup. She was not the tallest. She did not have the expensive dresses that many other families paid for. She did not walk in with diamonds or designer shoes. But she had something no one else had. Pure confidence. Pure chaos. Pure entertainment. She had a spark so bright that even the judges could not ignore it. Alana walked on stage like she owned the building. Her laugh echoed across the walls. Her movements were loud, her expressions even louder. Where other children smiled politely, Alana rolled her eyes for fun. Where others tried to look perfect, she. But this little spark was not built in one day. It was shaped by the world she grew up in. A home full of loud voices, strong personalities, and a mother who encouraged her to be bold in every moment. June always told Alana to be herself, and being herself meant being louder, brighter, and funnier than everyone else around her. One day, a small pageant competition filming crew arrived to capture parts of a local event. They were looking for interesting kids who stood out. The producer saw Alana for 10 seconds and knew instantly she was different. She was not nervous in front of cameras. She was not shy. She looked straight into the lens and acted like she had been performing her whole life. When her clip aired on national television, people reacted instantly. Who was this kid? Why was she so funny? How did she come up with all these lines so quickly? Why did she look so fearless? The video went viral faster than anyone expected. People replayed her moments online. Twitter exploded. YouTube started picking up clips. TV audiences kept asking, who is Honey Boo Boo? The name stuck because it matched her energy. Sweet, loud, unpredictable, and unforgettable. Producers from the show called June. They wanted more. They wanted to follow the whole family. They wanted to film inside their home. They wanted to capture the raw humor and chaos of their everyday life. June listened quietly as the producers explained the idea. A camera crew would follow them everywhere. Every mistake, every fight, every joke would be recorded. Most parents would hesitate. Most would be scared of judgment. But June saw something that she had always wanted. Chance doorway. Our way out of the life she had been stuck in for years. She saw the possibility of giving her children something better. Not perfect but better. First days of filming felt strange. Tay family was not used to waking up with cameras waiting inside the house. They were not used to being mic'd up every hour. They were not used to repeating scenes or explaining their thoughts to producers. But Alana adapted instantly. She talked to the camera like it was her best friend. She joked, she danced, she made funny comments. She treated every shoot like stage. Soon the family started becoming comfortable in front of the lens. They forgot the cameras were there. They lived like they always did. Loud nights, big dinners, messy rooms, arguments, laughter, inside jokes, and sudden chaos. The producers loved it because it felt real. Fake drama. No staged fights. Just family living their life in the only way they knew how. Honey Boo Boo quickly became the star. People found her hilarious and refreshing. Her personality felt natural. Nothing about her seemed forced. Kids usually tried to be cute or polite on TV. But Alana was honest. Brutally honest. She said things adults wanted to say but never did. She expressed emotions without holding back. She reacted without overthinking. Audiences connected with her because she felt real. She felt like the kid you would meet at a fair. The kid who tells jokes the moment you say hello. The kid who does not try to impress anyone. The kid who shines without trying to shine. But behind every moment was June guiding her. June knew what made her daughter special. She knew when to push and when to pull back. She encouraged her to be confident and expressive. And even though the world later judged June harshly, nobody can deny that she saw Alana's potential before anyone else even noticed. When the family's spin-off series Here Comes Honey Boo Boo launched, the fame grew instantly. Their small Georgia home became a worldwide topic of conversation. Some loved the show. Some criticized it. Some laughed with them. Some laughed at them. But no one ignored them. But fame is never simple. Fame is a double-edged sword. With attention came judgment. With popularity came pressure. With cameras came expectations. Suddenly everything in their home had to fit a storyline. Argument felt bigger. A decision felt heavier. Embarrassing moment WT straight to millions of viewers. June tried to protect her children, but it was nearly impossible with so many eyes on them. The family needed to adjust to a new reality. Their private life was now public property. Strangers felt entitled to opinions. Reporters waited for scandals. Producers wanted bigger reaction, bigger drama, bigger everything. And though Alana enjoyed the attention, the truth is she was still a child. A child learning how to deal with a spotlight bigger than her world. A child who did not understand how fame could change people. A child who trusted everyone because she did not know what danger looked like yet. This time period shaped the next decade of her life. It shaped how she saw family. How she saw the world. How she saw herself. She grew up faster because millions were watching her grow. And June felt the pressure too. The show made her a star. But it also made her a target. But at this stage they did not see the darkness coming. They did not see the problems waiting in the shadows. They did not see how fame can break families as quickly as it builds them. The world does not choose who becomes famous. Sometimes fame arrives like a storm. Unexpected. Unplanned. Wild. And that is exactly what happened to the Honey Boo Boo family. One moment they were a small-town family living a simple life. The next moment they were everywhere. On TV. On social media. In memes. In late-night comedy shows. In news headlines. People could not get enough of them. When Here Comes Honey Boo Boo premiered on television, it was supposed to be just another spin-off. Producers expected a little attention, a bit of laughter, and a few weeks of curiosity. But the reaction was beyond anything they imagined. People watched the show not once but repeatedly. They talked about it with friends. They shared clips online. They quoted Honey Boo Boo's lines. In a matter of days the family went from unknown to unforgettable. Alana stood at the center of this explosion. She was energetic, honest, funny, unpredictable, and natural. She did not care about looking perfect. She did not try to act polite or fancy. She was simply herself. Loud and proud. And viewers adored that. They felt connected to her because she represented something rare on television. Real personality. But the fame did not only belong to Alana. Each member of the family became a character of their own. Pumpkin the sarcastic sister. Chickadee the gentle one. Jessica the adventurous one. And then there was Mama June. The woman who held the whole family together with her chaotic charm and tough exterior. She became the heart of the show without even trying. People watched her and felt a strange off humor and empathy. She was not polished. She was not glamorous. She was not trying to pretend. She showed her real life, including the messy parts. She talked openly about money problems. She joked about food. She laughed loudly. She lived loudly. And in a world full of fake perfection, that honesty felt refreshing. The family suddenly became part of a larger conversation. Critics talked about them. Cultural commentators debated whether their show represented something meaningful or ridiculous. Some praised the authenticity. Some insulted the family. Some said the show was a guilty pleasure. Some said it was a reflection of American life. But no matter what anyone said, one truth was clear. Everyone was watching. Money started flowing in. Not millions, but enough to change their world. Enough to repair things around the house. Enough to finally breathe without constant fear of bills. Enough to buy. She made guest appearances on programs. Cartoon parodies appeared. Even celebrities started quoting her lines. This pressure slowly built cracks in their home. They began arguing more often. Their routines changed. Their friendships changed. Even their relationship with each other started shifting under the weight of fame. They had an audience now. Millions of people evaluating their every move. Still they tried to stay grounded. They tried to laugh through the stress. They tried to act normal even though nothing in their life was normal anymore. When the second season aired, the reaction was even bigger. The show had officially become phenomenon. Advertisers wanted to work with them. Events wanted to book them. The world kept watching their every move. But while viewers saw the funny side of their life, they did not see the growing struggles behind the camera. June was trying to manage the show, the finances, and her daughters all at once. It was overwhelming. She barely had time for herself. She hardly slept. She worried constantly about what would come next. But she never let the audience see that side of her. She always smiled. She always laughed. She always acted strong. Because she believed she had to. She believed fame could give her daughters a better future. She believed fame could fix the past she could not escape. She believed fame was their one chance to step out of the cycle of poverty. And while the family enjoyed the spotlight, they never saw the downfall approaching. They never saw how one decision would change everything. They never saw that their rising fame was also building a shadow behind them, shadow that would eventually swallow their entire world. Fame can look magical from a distance. It shines bright. It looks powerful. It looks like the answer to every problem a struggling family ever had. But when the spotlight lands on a home that was never prepared for it, the pressure begins slowly, quietly, and deeply. That is exactly what happened inside the Honey Boo Boo household. At first everything felt exciting. There were cameras, there were producers, there were new opportunities. The family felt important for the first time. They felt seen. They felt like life was finally giving them something good after many years of struggle. But behind that excitement, small cracks were already forming. Their house was never built for fame. It was small and crowded and suddenly filled with cameras, wires, lights, and strangers. Early mornings began with film crews entering the living room. Late nights ended with producers asking for interviews. Privacy disappeared. Silence disappeared. Even normal days disappeared. The family tried to act natural at first. But it is impossible to stay natural when you know millions of people will watch your every move. Every dinner turned into a scene. Every outing turned into an episode. Every argument turned into content. Their life became a show even when they did not want. June felt the pressure more than anyone else. She was the mother. The center of the family. The face of the show. She felt like she had to be strong even when she was exhausted. She had to be funny even when she felt stressed. She had to be loud even when she felt empty. She wanted to keep the show going because she believed it would secure her daughter's future. But the weight of that responsibility grew heavier each day. The kids felt the pressure too. Pumpkin became more protective. Jessica became more distant. Even little Alana became more aware of people's judgment, though she pretended not to care. They were still children, but millions of strangers felt entitled to criticize their bodies, their voices, their home, their clothes, their lifestyle. The family that once laughed freely now felt like they were performing every moment of every day. They still loved each other. They still had fun. But the stress wrapped around everything they did. The fame they once celebrated now felt like a weight pressing down on every part of their life. The show wanted more. The audience wanted more. Everyone wanted something from them. The family felt stretched thin like a thread about to snap. To the outside world, Mama June was loud, fearless, and she laughed at jokes. She teased her kids. She acted tough on camera. She gave people the impression that nothing ever hurt her. But behind that confident smile was a very different story. A story full of wounds that she never talked about. A story filled with pain she never allowed her audience to see. Long before she became Mama June, she lived a life full of battles that shaped who she became. Some battles were financial. Some were emotional. Some were scars left by people she trusted. Some were secrets she carried so deeply that even her closest friends did not fully know them. When the cameras came, she did not want the world to see her sadness. She did not want her daughters to see her fear. So she did what she learned to do her entire life. She hid everything behind humor. Behind chaos. Behind loud energy. Behind her tough personality. But her quiet moments told the real story. At night after filming, when the kids were asleep and the crews had left, the house would finally fall silent. And that silence was the part of the day she feared the most. Because that was the moment she had to face her thoughts. The thoughts she buried during the day. The thoughts she covered with jokes. The thoughts she hoped fame would erase. June grew up in a world where support was rare and trust was dangerous. She learned early that people could leave easily. That love could hurt more than it healed. That promises did not mean protection. She carried all of that into adulthood. She carried all of that into motherhood. And she carried all of that into fame. June also struggled privately with her relationships. Some people she cared about hurt her. Some manipulated her. Some used her for money, fame, or comfort. Some brought chaos into her life. And because she grew up believing she was not worthy of better, she often accepted the pain. This emotional vulnerability made her more fragile than people realized. She tried to hide it, but the cracks were there. And people close to her noticed the change long before the public did.